Hi everybody, welcome back to Mona's Takes. I am Mona Rose and we are going to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey. But first, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, help my channel grow, appreciate all the support. Thank you. Good morning, welcome back everyone. Last night was the premiere of season 12 Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Before we do, if you haven't, like and subscribe, please. Helps my channel grow. I appreciate all the support. As far as the Real Housewives series go, there's only two that I watch. I watch Real Housewives of New Jersey and Real Housewives of Atlanta. I did watch Real Housewives of Dallas. I was probably one of the few that actually did before it was canceled. Being from Dallas, kind of had to. But Real Housewives of New Jersey and Real Housewives of Atlanta was the only thing that's really held my attention for very long. So I know nothing about the rest of them. Last night's episode was amazing. The intro, wow. It's going to be a good season. I'm here for the drama. I mean, let's be real. That's why we watch it. I'm going to go through the cast and some of the things that happened last night on the episode and some of the things that we may see on the future. And start out one by one. The first one, of course, is Teresa. Because we all know that New Jersey revolves around Teresa. Me personally, it gets old. But I guess that's where their storyline is. This guy that she's dating, Louis. I watched the video last night that they all talked about on the episode last night. His apology video that was so weird and he must have something to hide and blah, blah, blah. We've all been in relationships. Most of us have had failed relationships. It happens. What's in the past is in the past. What is important is how he treats her. And we shall see how that goes. But last night, that's what everyone wanted to talk about. Oh, he needs to address the video. She needs to address the video. He must have something to hide. It's the past. He had relationships before Teresa. As long as he's not scamming her and they have some proof that he's scamming her, then they need to back off. We'll see how that relationship goes. Melissa doesn't have a storyline if it's not for Teresa. Or she hasn't had in the last couple of years. We will see how that goes. Of course, everything that Melissa and Joe do has to revolve around Teresa. And I will say, being divorced with 3 children, the one thing I never allowed anyone to do was talk bad about the kid's dad. That's their dad. That's their father. Think what you want outside of the presence of them and say what you want outside of the presence of them. But with Joe being on national TV, everything he says, the girls see. And that's not right. They have to come to their own conclusion about their own conclusions about their father. Plain and simple. Nobody else needs to be trying to guide that. Joe has his feelings, bad feelings towards the ex-Joe, Giudice. And he has a right to, in my opinion. However, what he doesn't have a right to do is to vocalize that where Joe's girls see this. That's their dad. They're going to take up for their dad. Plain and simple. So we'll see how that plays out, but I'm sure it's going to go on for a while. Now, as far as Joe's comment when they were doing the husband's comedy thing, whatever, he was blindsided. Somebody asked him if he had saw the video on Louis and what he thought of Louis. He said the first thing that came to his mind to make it funny, to get off of that subject and not address it, which was he was missing his ex-brother-in-law, Joe Giudice. I thought it was funny. I laughed. Evidently, Teresa and her gang didn't think that it was so funny. They thought it was a dig at Louis. I saw it as him protecting his sister in the best way that he could at the moment. Because he could have went into a tirade. He could have went into all kinds of stuff, but he didn't. He said something that made the audience laugh, and they moved on. Dolores, oh, Miss Dolores, I love you to death, but geez, pick a lane. Evidently, Frank has a new girlfriend. And in my opinion, watching Dolores last night, the things that she was complaining about had nothing to do with that house. And it had everything to do with the fact that Frank wasn't there at their beck and call. Plain and simple. If you noticed when she got on FaceTime with him, she did her little hair flip. Like, oh, hey. You know. She wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. Plain and simple. She either needs to be with Frank or she needs to get away from Frank. Not get away from him. She's never going to get away from him because she has kids with him. But that's a weird dynamic to me. I got 2 ex-husbands. Could not be that close to either one of them, I promise you. I think she still wants Frank around, but she wants to do her own thing too. So I don't think that's quite fair to Frank. We will see how that plays out. Jackie, oh Jackie. She needs to grow a backbone if she's going to stay with that mix of women. Because they are tough and they are brutal. And she has to be able to handle that. And she has to be able to be up to their level. And from what I saw on the previews for the upcoming weeks and the intro and all that, she's crying, saying she doesn't want to do this anymore. She needs to get a backbone or get out. Because those girls are going to eat her alive. And I understand her feelings towards Teresa and towards Jennifer. They were trying to mess with her marriage. Not just her livelihood, her marriage. It wasn't just her reputation, it was her marriage. I think that should be off limits. That's over the top. That's way too much. However, she does seem like she's trying to forgive and forget and start anew, and we'll see how that goes. But she's got to get a backbone. Margaret, oh Margaret, I love you to death. But Lord, get off of the soapbox. She's always trying to tell Teresa what Teresa needs to do. Hell, she's always trying to tell everybody what they need to do. But, too, I guess it keeps her relevant if she's fighting with everyone constantly. So, we'll see how this plays out with her and Teresa, but I see it going very, very wrong. Teresa does not forget. Teresa holds on to stuff forever. She doesn't forget. And one thing builds on another and builds on another and builds on another until Teresa finally loses her mind. Hence her 12 years of being on the show. And they actually, I watched what was happening live with Andy Cohen last night. And they were playing clips of who's Teresa yelling at. They could have played that all night long. Because there's so many people that she fights with. Jennifer Aiden. Jennifer seemed like a new person to me. this go around. Last year I was really concerned with her drinking, and I can understand why some of the girls are still upset with her, because when she was drunk, she was hateful. She was mean. And you don't just forget that. I don't care if you're drunk, sober, or in between. If you don't make changes when you say I'm sorry means nothing. So she can apologize to them all she wants. And she did last year. Every time she got drunk, every time she had an episode, every time she went off on somebody, the next day, oh, she was so sorry. And she was drunk. Oh, I'm so sorry, I was drunk. Oh, I'm so sorry, I was drunk. Drunk is not an excuse. If you know you do that when you're drinking, don't drink. And last night's episode, I didn't see her drink. I saw her drink water. And she really came back at Margaret. Margaret thought that she was going to blow up Jennifer by saying that her husband had an affair with his secretary. To Jennifer's response to that was, I believe it was a pharmaceutical rep, and Jennifer said something to the something like, it was a pharmaceutical rep and not a secretary. If you're going to spill it right. Well, at that point, Bill Aiden turned around and was like wide-eyed and like, oh hell, because this is right there in front of everybody. So their business is put out there. But Margaret goes deep. Margaret's words are meant to cut. And she still holds a grudge from the things that Jennifer said to her last season about her mother, which I think was totally off limits. She should have never went there. And I can see why Margaret holds a grudge with her. And we'll see if it works out this year. Maybe they can smooth things out, but I highly doubt it by the way the scene started this time around. And now we're going to get to the friends of the show. I love it when they bring these friends of the show in and they try to act like they've been friends with these people. I think they said that Tracy and Tiki had been friends with Joe and Melissa Gorga for 8 years. Although we've never seen them together. I've never seen anything about them being together. And to me, Joe looked like he was starstruck when he was talking to Tiki. I mean, he just looked like he was... It would be like me seeing Reba, or, you know, me sitting down at the same table with Loretta Lynn or something like that. You're just like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. That's what Joe looked like. But we'll see. There's much to do about the fact that he left his ex-wife for Tracy. His ex-wife was pregnant. He does have 2 kids by Tracy, as well as 4, I think, by the previous wife. Things happen. People split up. They may last. He may leave her for somebody else. I don't see what the past has to do with who they are today, but I guess that's the storyline they're trying to bring up. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I think that she's probably going to collide with Teresa. And I think she's probably going to collide with Jennifer. Only because Jennifer and Melissa are supposedly friends. So I can see Jennifer be like, I don't want any part of her because she's friends with Melissa. And I can't stand Melissa. And whatever. So we'll see how that plays out. But tell me, I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this preview or premiere, and where you think the season's going to go. Who do you like? Who do you dislike? I'd like to know, and we can carry on this conversation throughout the season. Again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Help my channel grow. I appreciate everyone's support. And I will be back later on, probably in the morning. I'm going to watch the Big Brother premiere tonight, and then I'm going to watch the live feeds and see what we got going on, and then I'll do a video in the morning. Those are going to start being daily videos because I will watch the live feeds at night, see what's going on. We'll talk about it the next morning. So, if you do not have CBS All Access or Paramount, and you don't have the live feeds, and you want to know what's going on at night, check back here with me tomorrow, and we will talk about it. Thank you guys. Have a good night. I appreciate all the support. Mwah.